I believe that path one, which is looking across to alternative industries, could be the best blue ocean strategy for Spotify to improve overall profitability. Spotify has already began doing this with the addition of podcasts to their previously music only service, and also with their long term relationship with Facebook. With the core function of Spotify being entertainment, they could bring their own take on some of the aspects that their substitutes do best. For example, they could start producing interviews with artists similar to what you would find on YouTube. I think that it is obvious that Spotify won't become YouTube anytime soon, but they could push themselves above the other streaming services by building deeper connections between user and artist. With the addition of podcasts to Spotify, I could also see a news feature being added to Spotify. A radio-like on-demand news feature could be an option where users can skip between news stories that are song length and potentially filter between what outlet it came from, what region the story applies to, and other relevant attributes. Users could customize notifications so that they can be alerted about the news stories that they care about the most. The addition of a news feature would also make more sense to me if Spotify partnered with existing news outlets rather than entering into a very different industry. With how easy to use and how popular Spotify is, looking for other avenues to utilize their technology could be a great way Spotify can increase profits by looking towards alternative industries. The change that I would make to improve Spotify's industry level profitability would be to reduce the power of their suppliers, which are mainly the record labels. Although no exact numbers are given, and it does vary from artist to artist and label to label, some record labels have been found to take up to 80% of the earnings from an artist. Many notable artists, such as Taylor Swift and David Crosby, have been vocal about how artists are paid and have started some public talk surrounding the issue. Taylor Swift even went as far as removing all of her music from all streaming services, which eventually led to her making a deal with streaming services that would pay artists during those streaming services' free trial periods. This deal also prompted Universal Music Group to give artists a shared portion of the record label's $1 billion investment in Spotify. I also see a great opportunity with a relatively low cost for Spotify to sign new artists that are not yet signed with a record label. Doing so could create a situation where that artist's content would be exclusive to Spotify. Spotify could also reduce the power of its suppliers by signing established artists after their contracts with large record labels expire, which could again create exclusive content for Spotify. While Spotify can't control what is done with their money once it is delivered to a record label, if it is legal, they could also continue to focus on their exclusive Spotify sessions, which are acoustic versions of an artist's song, potentially with a different payout that could go directly to their artists. Since content drives Spotify, they should do all that they can to get as much money to the artist, not the record labels, not only to keep those artists happy, but also to begin to gain exclusive streaming rights for an artist's content.